going to be continuing with our WhatsApp clone today. And in today's episode, the focus is on the settings screen. So we are going to be building the settings tab screen, the UI components that is going to power this functionality that we have in this current simulator. So let's get started. Let's go into our settings folder. We're going to create another group. We're going to call it views. Create another file, SwiftUI file, new file, SwiftUI view. We're going to call it settings tab screen. Okay, let's open our SwiftUI canvas. Run that bad boy. Let's close this left navigator. Let's create a little bit more space so we can see what we are working with. All right, so this looks like a similar approach to the last episode. We have a navigation stack, we have a toolbar item, we have a search bar, and we have a list. So let's get right on to business. Let us start by creating our search text. So we're going to create private var search text is equals to empty string. That's going to power our searchable. We're going to create a navigation stack as usual with a list. We're going to add a navigation title. That's settings. Okay, we're going to add a searchable. Okay, good progress. And now we are going to build out each of this individual settings item view. So let's think of how to approach this. As you can tell, these are repeating patterns. We have some sort of a label with an icon and a text component, and that's pretty much what powers all of the above. So let's go and create a new SwiftUI view underneath our views inside of our settings folder. We're going to create another file, SwiftUI view. Let's call it settings, item view. That feels right. What do you guys think? Okay, so what is settings item view? Let's see. What is settings item view? That looks like just an H stack to me. So let's get started. We're going to say an H stack. We're going to need an image and a text. Okay. Is that all? That's all. Okay. So let's say we need an image. Let's just say system name. I don't know. Let's use the info button. Let's just use this just as a placeholder. We need a background color to that bad boy. Let's say background color of blue. Let us add a padding of maybe 3. Yeah, foreground color of white. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. And we're gonna throw a space. We're gonna throw a text next to it. A text is gonna say something like change profile photo. Okay. There's a couple of things we might want to do here. The first one is let's add a font to our text. So system font size 18 maybe. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's think for a second. We definitely want to add a clip shape to this. So the usual rounded rectangle with a corner radius and a continuous style. So corner radius of 5, style is continuous. I'm going to remove this other style parameter. And what do we have here? We have what looks pretty good. We are making progress. And I'm going to throw a spacer here to push everything to the lead-in. Okay. All right. We're going to take this settings item view. We're going to go back into our settings tab screen and let's do a section. Let's do a couple of sections here. First section, settings item view. Let's see what that looks like. Looks good. And let's just repeat this a bunch of times. Let's just see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. However, we do need some sort of a data model to help us power this because it looks like each of the settings item is going to have an image, is going to have a different background color, and a title. So we're going to create a data model to power that. So let's open our settings folder again. Let's create another folder inside of that and let's call it models. And this one is going to be called settings item. I think that's a good name for that. So let's create new file, not a SwiftUI view, just a Swift file this time around. We're going to call it settings item and let's create a struct. Okay, what is it going to have? Well, it's going to have an image name, which is going to be of type string. It's going to have an image type hold on, guys. The reason I'm creating an image type is because I want to be able to use a combination of SF symbols and images that we are importing inside of our assets. So let's think about this. We need to create an enum to power that. So I'm going to create an enum called image type and case system image. And assets image. I'm going to call that image type. Then we need a background color. And of course, we need a title. So with all of this, we should be able to power each of these individual sections in our settings tab screen. We need to import SwiftUI because the color is a part of the SwiftUI model. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to import a bunch of already stuffed out data from the completed source code. And the reason I'm doing that is because trying to write out all of this is just not a good use of our time. And it would just take a bunch of time anyway. So I'm going to copy all of this and I'm going to provide this, by the way, I'm going to provide this in the description of this video. So look in the description, you're going to see an extension, this specific piece of code and extension, settings item view. Okay. And I probably should just make the image type. Let me default the image type to something like system image. Sorry about that, guys. Alrighty. And I'm going to move the enum, the image type enum, inside of our settings item. I want it to be namespace to that. Okay, everything should be good now. Let's clean the project. Come on. What do you mean you can't infer that? Of course you can. All right, let me make sure we have our correct extensions. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's an extension on settings item. All right, let us go to settings tab, settings item view, and it's going to take in an item. So we're going to say let's item equals to settings item. And now let's start binding some of this. So let's say the avatar, for example. All right, guys. So make sure you change the image type to be a variable and not a constant because we want to be able to modify it. And like I said, I am going to provide in the description to this video, the actual place where you can grab this extensions, this stub data, if you will, for the settings screen. All right. So now let's go back to our settings tab screen. I have commented out the settings item view that we have in the section. So let's go into our actual settings item view. So if we do Command Shift and O, settings item view, we can jump right into that file and we can actually start building out what our settings item view should look like. Okay, so what do we need here? Well, I would like to change this. First, let me resume the preview. I would like to change this into a frame. And I would like to change the foreground color from white. Well, the foreground color is okay. The background color, however, I'm going to change that into the item, the background color. Because if you jump into the settings item, as you can see, we have an image name, image type, and background color. And that's what's going to power the different background color that we see here. Okay. And then I'm going to change the title to item.title. All right. The icon as well, I'm going to change that to okay. As you can see, that's starting to match what we have on the simulator. But there is, however, a problem. Most of the images are system image, but I think there's a couple of them that are actually asset images. So in those situations, we need to create a different image component to handle that for us. So let's just create a function called, icon image view. And then let's grab all of this and move this into our icon image view. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to create a switch statement. Let's create a space here. We're going to create a switch statement on item.image type. And so we're going to say, hey, if it's of system image, we're going to do system image. If it's of assets image, then we're just going to do assets. We're going to remove the system name parameter, and we're just going to do item.image name. I would like for us to change the rendering mode to template and maybe add a pattern of like 3. However, for the system images, I would like to make them bold and give them a font of I don't know, call outs. That sounds right. Feels right. Okay, we are getting a bunch of errors, which is good. Let's comment this out for now. And the reason we're getting a bunch of errors is because we need to make this a view builder. So we're going to make this a view builder. We're going to go up here and pass in our icon image view. Okay, that's bold. That looks pretty good. However, we need to move these modifiers that we created earlier onto that. So let's copy this. Let's remove this though. And let's paste that on here. So the frame modifier, the foreground style, and all of those good stuff that we did earlier, we're going to paste it on the icon image view now. That feels right. Let's change, for example, the item to, I don't know, let's see what we have, like chats. Look at that. That looks pretty good. Like, I don't know, encryption. That looks pretty good. Alrighty, so I think our settings item view is pretty much done. Now let's go back into our settings tab screen and actually start creating these different sections here, which is going to power our settings screen. Takes in an item, and the first one that we want is what? We want the broadcast list, which is this section. I'm building out this section. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to change it to starred messages. Copy that, paste it, change that to linked devices. All right, we're going to create another section. Same thing again. Change that to account. Copy, paste. We have privacy, item. Copy, paste. We have chat. Copy, paste. We have notifications. Okay, it's coming together. We're going to do another section. And that's the last section. So that's the help and tell a friend. And we are almost done. So we have this section, we have this section, and this section. The only bit that's left is this top section. And the way we're going to do that is let's just create another mini struct here to handle that for us. So let's say private struct. Okay. What do we need? So if we take a good look at this, it's pretty much just an H stack right here with the two V stacks. So let's write out that code. We have an H stack. And let's use a circle again as a placeholder. 55, height is 55. And we need a text. So let's say text QA user 13. Let's take this settings editor view and pop it right above the first section. Look at that. We are making good progress. Okay, we need a couple of more styling here. Okay, so let's do another right inside of this section, because this is a section. Let's create another one called, actually, yeah, let's create another one called another settings item view. Okay. Okay. Let's change the fonts. And we have QA user 13. We need the QR code and we need the bio. So we're going to add this into a VStack. We're going to embed this inside of a VStack. And you know me, once we start having a bunch of stacks inside of a view body, it's time to start breaking it into some functions. So let's call this, let's see, user info text view. Sounds right. And the user info text view is going to be a VStack. Okay. So what we're really trying to do here is we're trying to do the username and the QA scanner. Let's put both of those inside of an H stack. And then the overall V stack, we're going to have a text underneath the username. So we have an overall V stack, which is this 2. And then we have an H stack that houses the username and the QR code. So username is going to be text. Let's actually move. Let's think about this for a second. Let's actually move this because this is what we want. Let's move that here. And then let's put this user info text view here. Okay, so now we have our username. We need our QR code button. So we're just going to say image, the QR code, which is an SF symbol. Well, not an SF symbol. It's a image symbol, an asset. Template. Let's give it a pattern of like 5. Let's make the foreground style, blue. And give it a background color of like gray of some sort. So system gray 5, perhaps. And clip shape it to circle. Okay, we are making some good progress right there. Let's store spacer here. So we create that, distance between the two. That looks pretty good to us. Well, that looks pretty good to me. One thing I don't want us to forget though is perhaps we're still inside of a VStack here. So let's come down here for the bio. So let's just say, hey there, I am using WhatsApp. And that is coming together. We do need to change the foreground for this. And perhaps the font as well. All right. So for the overall VStack, I would just like to change the line limits to 1. You don't want the text to start bleeding across multiple different lines. And I think that's it. So we have ourselves our setting screen components. We have the header built out, and we have the individual sections. Now let us take the settings tab screen, go into our main tab view as usual. So instead of our main tab view, the last tab item, let's take that, replace it with settings tab screen. Let us run our simulator, and we are done for this episode. Okay, let's go to our settings, and look at that. Boom, that looks pretty clean. Thank you for joining me in this episode. In the next episode, we're going to start building out our chat room, which is going to be when you click on one of those individual items and you navigate to the actual chat room that has your messages. We're going to start building out the UI components for that. And next couple of episodes after that, we're going to start building the actual chat functionalities, like the ability to send and receive messages. So stick around. And if you're having fun like I am, subscribe, like. Thank you. I'm out.